I'm Olivia Vidas, and I'm the voice of Mummy Girl in Hero Inside. I first got into voice acting in college. Well, I started acting when I was 6. I did community theater growing up, a lot of musical theater. I majored in theater when I went to college. I went to the University of Southern California. And while I was in college, I took a class on voice acting and absolutely fell in love with it. And I grew up watching a lot of animated shows, animated movies, playing a lot of video games, and I always thought voice acting was super cool and that voice actors were amazing. And it wasn't until I took that class in college that I really kind of connected the fact that I could do that, maybe, if I wanted. So that's kind of where it all began for me. My biggest role models in the industry, I've got a few, but off the top of my head, I can think of Laura Bailey and Ashley Johnson. I'm a big fan of Critical Role, which is a great D&D podcast with a whole cast of voice actors, and I love all of them. But those two specifically are very inspiring to me. I think they're so talented. They've worked on The Last of Us, and their acting is just phenomenal. And also, they're just wonderful human beings, and I aspire to be like them one day. And speaking of wonderful human beings, I also love Rob Paulsen. He is such a classic voice actor. He voiced so much of my childhood, so many people's childhoods, continues to do incredible work, and he's such a wonderful person in the community as well. He's always uplifting other voice actors. He's actually seen some of my TikToks before, and I've messaged him a little bit, and he's so encouraging to new talent, to people who are fresh in the industry, like me. And it's really cool to have an icon like that willing to encourage me and take the time to check out my work. So mad respect to Rob Paulsen as well. For my first voice acting gig, I got to work on this indie animation project called The Marching Pride of Cadence High. It was entirely done by this guy named Nicholas Smith. He's so talented. He wrote it, he animated it, he did all the voice direction for all of us, working with a great cast, and it was such a fun project. It's about, a bunch of high school kids at marching band camp in the summer. I got to voice Larissa, who did not want to be there. She wanted to be on the cheer team, got stuck doing color guard. Of course, even by the end of that pilot episode we recorded together, she was starting to kind of come around. So it was a really fun project, and maybe one day it'll find the right audience and we'll get to make a whole season. I was immediately drawn to Hero Inside when I got the audition for it because, first of all, animation is just automatically such a fun medium to work in as a voice actor. But also, I'm a big fan of superhero movies and shows, so the opportunity to get to voice a superhero was super enticing to me, and Mummy Girl seemed so cool. They had great concept art for her, and the breakdown of the character and everything. She seemed so tough, so cool, way cooler than I am in my real life. So it was fun to kind of embody that for the audition, and I was honestly surprised I booked it. I'm always surprised when I book anything, but yeah, it made me feel validated. I was like, maybe I am cool, Thanks for casting me. When I think of any special moments in the recording of Hero Inside, what really sticks out is just that first day. It was like first day of school jitters, and I was just so excited to be a part of the project and to get a little more peek into the process, getting to see the animation, getting to hear some of the other voice actors' lines that had already been recorded. I was just blown away and in awe and so excited to be there that I just was so ready to hit the ground running, and that was so special to me. But also, interesting moments in terms of holding back laughter. There was always those moments as well because, again, you're recording a lot of fight scenes and a lot of efforts, which is inherently a little silly because, you're reacting to getting punched. And I don't know if you noticed, but I am in my closet and I've got this pole here. This is actually a clothing rack, and I most definitely have hit my head on this when I'm getting too into throwing a punch or getting hit. And so it is always funny when I'm like, oh, sorry, we have to redo that. You probably heard the clunk from my head hitting this bar. So if I have a session one day, I try to wake up several hours before the session, even if it's early. because I want my voice to naturally warm up a little bit. When I first wake up, and when most people first wake up, we sound kind of groggy, we're slow, we sound a little hoarse. So I drink a ton of water. I also like to drink throat coat tea. I'm a big fan of that, and it gets you nice and warm. It's a good tingling sensation in the throat. I like to do a lot of different vocal warm-ups that I learned since I, sang and did a lot as a kid in terms of musical theater kind of warm-ups. So I'll do a lot of tongue twisters as well to kind of get my articulators going. I'll do straw phonation. You can look that up if you'd like, but it involves breathing through a straw into a little glass of water to just help activate all the muscles that you use for breathing and your diaphragm and everything. So do a lot of warm-ups. I also like to stretch a little just to get kind of in my body before the session, and then get right to it. So when it comes to any funny anecdotes from Hero Inside, I think the whole process of recording any voiceover work is inherently kind of funny because my setup right now is in my closet. So I'm very aware of the fact that, my neighbors can probably hear me. I'm standing in my closet, and with Hero Inside, I'm playing a superhero, so I'm doing a lot of efforts and reactions and getting punched and yelling, big power-up moves, and it's just a little ridiculous to be doing that in your closet. And sometimes I kind of have to keep myself from laughing and also keep myself from judging myself a little bit. And, you can't get embarrassed. You just have to go for it. So I think that's sort of the most interesting aspect about Hero Inside is that all those fight sequences and all the crazy yells and reactions that you just have to be willing to do, standing in your closet at whatever weird hour of the day, knowing that somebody can probably hear you through the walls. The atmosphere when we were recording Hero Inside was super exciting, but also a little surreal because I was recording remotely. So I just hear everybody's voices in my headphones, I can hear the engineer, I can hear the team from Million Volt Animation, I can hear the director, and on my screen I'm just seeing this gorgeous animation of the show. So it was a really unique experience. It was really special. I could tell even when we were recording that first season that we had something really special. So of course it was no surprise that we got to do a season 2. Well, I wasn't surprised, but I was very thrilled that there was a second season. And it's also so exciting to just share it all with the world now. But yeah, I think everyone was really excited. They would share more details on the project, give me a little context for the scenes, and everyone seemed really in it and really excited about the project, which just made me more excited about it as well.
We're the heroes, we are the cool. It's time to break the way you